Hello, my name is Victoria Tiscarino, and today I'm going to be using base 10 blocks to model whole numbers. I would like to start off by showing my students the difference between the hundreds, the tens, and the ones block. And I would just explain to them that this would be in the ones place because it is one block, and this would represent the tens place because it contains 10 of the one blocks, which would make it 10. And then I would explain to them that this hundred block would be the hundreds place because it contains 10 of the tens block or long block, which would equal to 100. I'd like to move on to doing maybe a 2-digit number, and I would use the number 57. Just pick a random number. I would like to do the T-chart. I apologize because it is backwards. The T-chart just to show them the difference or the place value. So I would say the 7 is in the ones place and the 5 is in the tens. And I would ask them, how many ones do we have? We have 7 ones. Okay. So we would need 7 of the ones block. 4, 5, 6, 7. I would then ask them, how many tens do we have? Well, we have 5. So we would do 5 of the tens block. If this is fairly new to my students, I would probably ask them to count the tens blocks just so it would be a little bit clearer so they can see that there are in fact 10 in each block and it does equal 50. Which would then bring me to my next thing of showing them that 50 plus 7, because there are 5 tens, 50 plus 7 equals 57, which is how many blocks we have. Then I would move on into the hundreds place, and I'm going to use the number 236. I would also do the little chart just to help separate the difference between the two. And I would, have them label the ones, the tens, and the hundreds place. And I would ask them, the same thing. How many ones do we have? We have 6. How many tens do we have? We have 3. How many hundreds do we have? 2. And I would say, let's remember that 2 means 200 plus 3 tens is 30, and plus 6 ones is 6, which would equal 236. Got that wrong. 236. I would then, use the base 10 blocks, and I would say, all right, how many ones do we need? We need 6 ones, 4, 5, and 6. How many tens do we need? Which would be the long ones. We need 3 of them to complete 30. And how many hundreds do we need? We need 2. So they would have 236 blocks to equal the whole number that I have just modeled for them. I'd like to move into decimals, just so my students have an idea of how decimals are different than whole numbers. And I would like to use the number 1 43 hundredths. And I would explain to my students, I guess before showing them the number, that we would call this would be one whole. Okay, and then I would let them know that this long block of tens would be 1/10. Okay, and this ones block would be 100 because it is one of the hundreds that is in this one whole block. Okay, I would then explain to my students that this would be our one whole, this would be the tenths, and this would be the hundreds. So then I would ask them or show them how many holes would we need? We would need one hole because there are 1 and 43 hundredths. Well, how many tenths would we need? We would need 4 because there are 4 and 1 and 43 hundredths. And how many hundredths would, or how many 100ths would we need? We would need 3. We would need 3. It's a little hard to see, but this was how I would model the decimals.